Rural Heritage on RFD TV is brought to you by Rural Heritage Magazine, a bi-monthly magazine featuring articles about farming and logging with draft animal power, small-scale diversified family farming and homesteading, and other aspects of our rich rural heritage. Rural Heritage Magazine, borrowing from yesterday to do the work of today. For subscription information, please call 319-362-3027 or order online at www.ruralheritage.com. For one day in early February every year, a group of dedicated volunteers gathers at a remote location outside of Ely, Minnesota, near the Boundary Waters, to harvest blocks of lake ice in the manner it was done over a century ago. More than a historic reenactment, this exercise has a real purpose: to provide refrigeration throughout the spring, summer, and fall for a small community of cabins and lodges in the wilderness. The man behind the effort is Will Steger, a polar explorer who has set many records for unsupported expeditions by dog sled in Greenland, the Arctic Ocean, Antarctica, and the North Pole. Steger is a tireless and persuasive advocate for wilderness protection and other environmental issues. He is especially interested in empowering people to find solutions to climate change. To that end, he established the Will Steger Foundation in 2006 and is in the process of building the Will Steger Wilderness Center in Ely. The center is a spacious building constructed of local materials by volunteer artisans from around the world. It incorporates the latest low-carbon strategies for heating and cooling and incorporates Will's own architectural design. It will be used to host small groups of leaders and activists involved in industry, technology, public policy, and other areas that impact the way we live on this planet and affect its future.
I moved up here when I was 25 in 1970. This was total wilderness. We had to cross a couple lakes, 3 miles of lakes to get to here, and at age 25, about your social life, what do you do? I moved from the city to move away from the city, my friends, to start a new life. Back in 1970, you couldn't buy organic vegetables. There wasn't such a thing. So I came here to start a homestead, self-sufficient community. And people coming, and almost everybody that has come here has helped build this society and the community and the homestead as it is here. Today we're doing an annual event of ice cutting. I've been cutting ice since 1967, and the reason why I cut ice refrigeration is because you have plenty of ice in the winter and you need refrigeration in the summer. So my first ice house was a kind of a primitive hole that I dug with a log top, and it kept our ice. And then we have now a larger ice house and a larger community and 4 horses. So it is an annual event, but between the ice house and the root cellars, I've never used any carbon out of my choice of not using carbon, but also to be self-sufficient. Ice and cellars is the way you did it. So.
The first project is to clear a big enough space to open up the ice for as much ice as they want to pull out, which is, I used to know a number. I bet it ends up being about 2 tons of ice that go up the hill to the ice house. They first, they mark out the 8-foot squares. They lay it out with chalk line, and so because it's much easier to get out when they're pretty precise. And then they score it, they open up a couple of holes all the way through. The ice at this point is probably, this year it's about 18 inches deep. So they run the chainsaw all the way through, deep enough and wide enough to get one of the hand saws in, and then they do that all the way along those where they have laid out the chalk marks, so people can start sawing. Other than the chainsaws, they're doing it exactly the way it was done 100 years ago. It's very hard work. It's backbreaking work because it's the ice saws. You know, they're thick and the teeth are 3-4 inches and they dig in.
Very close.
But it does take a lot of push and pull to get all that through all of that ice. So, the thing they do is they have a little ice auger. That it's the kind that they use for ice climbing. It's a little spiral piece that you jab in, and it augers into the ice, but they're about 8 inches long. So it goes down about 8 inches, and then there is a little loop on the end of it, an eye, and they attach a rope to that with handholds about 30-40 feet long. And then they start plunging the cube, these are about 4x4 blocks of ice, up and down so that the front of it will be come up off the edge of the ice, and they put boards underneath to kind of pry it up, and then about 20 people haul, 1, 2, 3, and haul their tails off as fast as they can go to get the ice up onto the top of the ice and then pull it away to get it set up to chop up. Yeah, there's a little scruff on the top, 3 or 4 inches, that is there all winter with under the snow. But that just melts. It doesn't freeze well. They can't be used. So they cut that off with a chainsaw. And then with the chainsaw, they start cutting the big block into manageable sized blocks of maybe 1 foot by 6, 7 inches, something like that, square. Then they take putty knives and shave off the excess snow and the excess scruff, because that stuff will melt, and then that kind of starts the melting process, which they don't want. The solid ice, lake ice, is very solid. So then they bring down the horses, and I think this year they've got 4 draft horses that pull a big sledge and bring the horses down, and they load the sledge up with these big chunks of ice, and it must be, I'm not sure how much they get into the sled itself is pretty heavy, but they load quite a bit up, and then the horses turn around and pull that up the hill with tremendous effort, as only those horses could do, because it's a full day's work. They go back and forth and back and forth, I don't know, 15, 20 times to get up all the ice. So there is a crew up there that'll unload the sledge into the ice house and lay a layer of sawdust and then more ice on top of it until they fill that room. It's about a maybe 12 by 12 foot room, about 8-foot ceiling, and they fill it all the way to the ceiling, all the way to the edge to the door. So.
And when you walk into that room, there's a little room off to the right. Is that like a staging area or something?
No, that's the refrigerator.
That's the refrigerator.
That's where all of the food and everything is kept in there. That is what.
I see.
Yeah, that's what all that ice keeps cool, is that room. And that room is refrigerator temperature, like I say, well into the summer, depending on, how hot a spring we have. Because there is no electricity and or water on the property. It's all off the grid. Will uses for all of his refrigeration for the whole year, which they fill with pieces of ice about 18 inches by 8 so square, and they fill that house up during the day, and that will stay frozen from now, early February, into sometime September. So that's the only refrigeration out at the property here.
I'm all right.
That's good enough. No, I'm getting aerial shot.
That's all right. I don't get paid enough for that. You like driving horses, don't you?
Oh, I love it. Do it every day. A few horses in the morning till noon, and then in the afternoon I've got training horses.
Is that right? Do you bring a lot of horses in to train, or you buy stock and then
Well,
train and sell it?
Right now I've got 4 that I'm getting ready for Waverly that are my own.
Okay.
Other than that, I bring a lot of training horses come in. Getting more and more crossbreds.
For showing or for working?
Mostly just pleasure, a lot of working pleasure. All right.
Got a little more horsepower than you need for this job, or is it about right?
Well, I tell you what, for barefoot horses and that steep climb, we got plenty of horsepower here, probably more than we need, but then we know we're not getting stuck in the middle of the hill. And they all need work anyway. All right, we're coming right at you. Get over here. Rope.
Here's a pin. Okay, this may help you get those links together in there.
So how many trips will they do back and forth to the ice house?
Oh, we'll probably do a dozen or more.
10, 12?
Really?
Yep.
I can't see their feet. Are they shod with caulks?
They're barefoot.
They're all natural.
Can't afford the shoeing, probably, huh?
Yeah.
There you go. Very cool.
That's exactly the way I got it in my
Did
pocket.
you just dig that out of your pocket,
I
Ed?
did, I did.
Oh,
It's
man.
almost a twin to the one I just took off. Oh, we'll get this short.
Oh, you don't need the chain?
What are the horses' names?
Okay, the lead horses, this is Mickey.
Okay.
And over there's Pete.
Okay.
Here's Max and Rose.
So 3 geldings and a mare?
2 mares.
Mickey.
Mickey's a mare.
Oh, okay.
The horse on the
Rose.
left. The new horse is Rose is a mare.
Brothers and sisters?
Nobody's related.
Is that right?
Yeah.
They match so
yeah.
nice. They match very, very nice.
Yeah.
This program is available for purchase. To order your copy, please call 319-362-3027 or visit www.ruralheritage.com. Rural Heritage is a bi-monthly magazine dedicated to draft animal farming and logging, as well as other aspects of our rich rural heritage. It is published by Mishka Press, which also offers a complete line of back-to-the-land books, DVDs, and calendars. Call or write for a catalog or subscription information, or visit our website at www.ruralheritage.com.